Without any more rambling. Wow, if you heard that, that was a mango that just fell. That relationship not going on work out. Every relationship I know fail. Hey dearies, welcome back to my channel, Convos with him. In today's video, we are going to be talking about how do you know that you are ready to be in a long-term relationship, or in other words, a committed relationship. For a while, I've wanted to do this video because this topic was something that I was pondering on and just kind of asking myself, how does one know if this is the right time that I should enter into a relationship or go into a committed relationship. And today I want to share 5 ways or areas in which you may know or confirm that you are ready to be in a long-term relationship. So without any more rambling, wow, if you heard that, that was a mango that just fell. Anyways, without any further rambling, let us get right into this video. So the first way that you can know if you are ready to be in a long-term relationship is when your relationship with God is number one and priority in your life. So a lot of times people may desire to be in a relationship or want to get into a relationship, but when you look at their spiritual life, God isn't priority. God isn't the number one relationship. Their relationship with God isn't number one in terms of them working intentionally on that relationship and just working and growing spiritually in their walk with Christ. So if for some reason your relationship with God is not a priority for you, is not something that you intentionally work on and is intentionally seeking to improve and grow in that area, then you probably aren't ready to be in a long-term relationship. On the other side, if you have grown significantly spiritually and your relationship with God is one that you intentionally work on day after day, then this is a sign that you are possibly ready to be in a long-term relationship. So the second way in which you can know you are ready to be in a long-term relationship is when you've healed mentally, emotionally, spiritually, and physically. Are you hearing those words? So a lot of time we may want to just jump into a relationship for going into a relationship's sake and for us not wanting to be single, right? But before you actually get into a committed relationship, something that you have to work on is your healing. Healing mentally, emotionally, physically, spiritually. In other words, breaking all those soul ties that you have had from your past. It is very important that you are not thinking about people who you have been in past relationships with in the past, or if there comes a time where this person may message you on social media, you are not entertaining the thoughts of, okay, maybe we can be in a relationship again, or maybe something can work out here. No, whatever was the reason why that relationship failed, there is a high chance of it not working out again. So you need to cut all ties from that person. If it means blocking the person, then sis, bro, you do that. Cut all physical ties, spiritual ties, healing spiritually, healing emotionally. You have to make sure that you have healed emotionally. I feel like this is so important, healing emotionally, to make sure that you are not still emotionally invested into your past and into someone else's life. Once you have healed in these areas and have broken all these soul ties, then there's a great chance that you are ready to be in a long-term relationship. The third way that you can know that you're ready to be in a long-term relationship is when your perspective towards relationship and marriage becomes optimistic. A lot of time, because we have had horrible experiences when it comes to being in a relationship or even looking at other person's marriages that may have failed, it can cause us to have a negative perspective towards relationships and marriages. And sometimes you might hear people say, that relationship not going on work out, every relationship I know fail, my parents get a divorce, so I'm not gonna get married because I will get a divorce too. And just like hearing those kinds of negative self-talk and I guess like affirmations you can even say about relationships and marriages, that is important. If you are still talking that way about relationships and marriages, then you are definitely not ready to be in a relationship. When you hear someone speaking that way, there's a high chance that they are still holding on to a lot of things that have occurred from their past and they haven't healed clearly from those things. But if your perspective towards relationships and marriages have changed and you are now optimistic about the possibility of you being in a healthy relationship and you from being in that healthy relationship it leading to a healthy marriage, not saying that everything is perfect, but most importantly that it is healthy and you are able to grow in that relationship. And once your perspective towards that has changed, you in return would attract the right person and it will help you to be positioned to be in a healthy relationship. So the fourth way in which you can know you are ready to be in a long-term relationship, it's when you've been intentional about healing from your past. So this one is sort of similar to number 2, but I still think it's different. Because for me, this one means that you have to reach that point where you look at yourself and tell yourself that, okay, X, Y, and Z have happened in the past and I don't want to be in that kind of situation again in the future. So now you have to take steps of being intentional about healing from those things that may have occurred. So these steps in which of ways you can be intentional is, for example, going for counseling, seeking counseling about the things that may have happened in past relationships and things that you have been hurt from, areas in which you may need healing from. Another way is maybe getting an accountability partner, right? So if you have someone who is accountable to you, who can help you to not find yourself in any random relationship for just being in a relationship's sake, someone who is accountable to you, someone who you can be open with and who in return can be honest with you and help you in this journey. So those are just ways in which you can be intentional about your healing, about healing from the past, right? And once you really have that honest conversation with yourself and realize that, okay, I need to heal from this and this and this, and you really intentionally seek ways to heal those areas and heal those stuff from the past, then you would be in a great position to then be ready to be in a long-term relationship. And last but not least, the fifth way in which you can know you are ready to be in a long-term relationship is when you desire to do relationship the right way. This one, for example, would be when you may have like a potential prospect that can potentially be your partner, right? And when this person comes along, you in your heart, knowing the things that you have been through, you would know that I do not want to end up in the same kind of relationship that I was in before, and I know what I want now, and I want to do it the right way. If that means you're as a couple having accountability partners and just you're wanting to do the right things, setting boundaries and doing all the things that is necessary to preserve your relationship and to make it as healthy and pure as possible, you would make sure that everything that is required for that to happen is put into place. You would have your non-negotiables, non-negotiables. You will have things that you would not look past. Your whole desire towards relationship would change, and you would want to do things as right as possible. So these are just 5 ways in which you can know you are ready to be in a relationship. So if your relationship with God is number 1 in your life, it's priority, it's the most important relationship. If you have healed mentally, emotionally, physically, spiritually, broken all those soul ties that you have had from your past, if your perspective towards relationship and marriages is one that is optimistic and positive, and if you are constantly intentionally working on healing from your past, and when you desire to do relationship the right way, these are just ways in which you would know that, okay, maybe I have grown to some extent and now I can entertain the possibility of being in a relationship. So I hope that these points have helped you and clarified your questions about how do you know you are ready to be in a relationship, and maybe this is something you have been thinking about recently, and I hope that this has brought some form of clarity to you. If you can think of any other ways that someone can know they are ready to be in a committed relationship, leave a comment below. Let us have a conversation. Let us help each other out in this journey. So I look forward to seeing all of your comments. And now it's time for our sis quote of the day segment. So you all know this is like my favorite part of the video, right? Today's quote says, "Sis, a high quality woman makes the quality of a man's life so much better." There is a lot of pressure that women in general put on men to be of a certain standard and to just be at some sort of level before they can even contemplate or think about being in a relationship with that person. If you as a woman is one who is of high quality, has values, has standards, then you would add so much more to a man's life. Not saying that you're going to settle and be with somebody who doesn't have any value or is of low quality. Of course not. But just as he has something to bring to the table, you also have something to bring to the table. And whatever it is you are bringing to the table, you are adding to his plate, you are adding to his life, and you are improving his life, and you would make his life better and make the quality of his life better. Don't just think, as a woman, is the man who have to be of high quality and he have to be a certain way. No, you also have to be a woman of high quality. Thank you so much for watching today's video. As always, make sure and subscribe to my channel if you haven't done so already, and Follow the Convos with Him community over on Instagram at Convos with Him. There you can see more content as well as all of the sis code that I share here in my videos. Until then, I'll see you in my next video. Bye.